Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are here standing in Kurenai right now to unlock another custom delivery. Now this one has a few pre-requirements you must have fulfilled to unlock it. Namely, you must have done the quest around the dungeon Shui of the Violet Tides and the follow-up questline from Kurenai about reawakening her comatose doppelganger, and you have to unlock the custom delivery Menago for some reason. Then this Kojin hireling here appears. The seaweed is always greener. Begging your pardon, madame, but you are an adventurer, are you not? I approach you in the off chance that you are acquainted with one of your distinguished fellows, a great hero by the name of Desiree Klingor. That would be me. What? You are none other than the legendary Desiree Klingor, liberator of nations and scourge of the Empire? How kind for Kamiya to guide your steps this way. I've been tasked with finding you, you see, by the lady-in-waiting of Sui No Sato. My blue brethren and I are assisting the good folk there in a certain endeavor, but they have been experiencing some difficulties. In seeking to address that difficulties, the lady-in-waiting wishes to entreat your aid. If you should be willing, I ask that you come to Tamamizu, where the lady awaits. Desiree, you came! Deep in my heart I knew that you would, but I'm no less glad for it. To spare you the confusion, it is I, Kurenai. As you will doubtless appreciate, it would not do for the Ruby Princess to be seen outside the palace, hence my current guise. And what brings you here? There's something I wish to achieve, for which the Kojin's home is an ideal venue. As you well know, our people have long lived in isolation. I would change that. I would have us emerge into the outside world. How did I conceive of this, you may wonder? It was none other than our journey together, Desiree, that sowed the seeds in my heart. Such things as I beheld and experienced, even as they filled me with awe, they made me keenly aware of our own wants. In the past, Sui No Sato engaged in limited trade with Doma, but that delicate tie was severed with the Empire's violent arrival. Nowadays, a handful of necessities from Tamamizu is our sole link to the world beyond. But with the Imperial menace driven from the Ruby Sea, I thought, what better time to venture out of our little bubble once more. However, 'tis far easier said than done. Princess or no, you can't just go and change things as you please. There are hard-headed types who will fight tooth and nail to keep things as they are, and you got to win them over, with a little help from this adventure here. That's about the short of it, eh? Have to say, it's nice to see an Eorzean face here at the bottom of the brine. Well met, adventurer. I'm Sanana, of the House of Splendors. What? Permit me to introduce Sanana. She came to be with us after a ship foundered in a storm. Our people chanced to find her clinging to flotsam and brought her to Sui No Sato. I'd be fish fodder if I didn't appear when they did, and so to repay the debt I'm helping Kurenai with her goal of opening Sui No Sato to the world. Sanana's insights have been most enlightening. I'm seeking to usher in change. She recommends that we distribute among the citizens such articles from the surface that they will find useful in their daily lives. I had thought to make my case only with words, but indeed, a practical item in hand shall prove far more convincing than any argument I could concoct. If our people are made to know the benefits of trade firsthand, they shall be more willing to embrace change. With no rituals of import requiring the Ruby Sea's presence in the near future, I came to Tamamizu some while ago to commence our efforts. Alas, I regret to say we've yet to make any progress. Owing to the shipwreck, I've got no suitable wares on hand, and while the Kojin have been helpful, we're struggling to perceive the kind of items needed in Sui No Sato. That was my thoughts turned to youth, my friend. As a well-traveled adventurer, I believed we would benefit from your aid. And to my surprise and delight, not only was Sanana familiar with your name, she told me that you are possessed of skills that would indeed serve our cause. Aye, anyone that's got anything to do with the house knows Desiree. She's one of the best contributors on our roster. Now, while we don't have ready wares, we did manage to salvage some materials to help you along. Naturally, we don't expect you to work for nothing. In the house fashion, there'll be scripts in it for your troubles. So, you will help, right? Look, I realize the house has a reputation, but we're not all ruthless, coin-hungry sorts. Not all the time, anyway. At the end of the day, we're just people, and like most people, we can be driven by altruism. And make no mistake, Sui No Sato needs help. Might be as the place prides itself on self-sufficiency, but the reality is grimmer than it seems. Every day, folk there are pushed to the limits of survival, and some of them don't make it. It's not our intent to turn Sui No Sato on its head, transform it into some bubbling hub like Kurenai, but through trade, lives can be improved. Lives can be saved. Alright. You sold me? You have my eternal gratitude. From the two of you standing with us, there's hope yet for our people. Well then, if it's decided, let's all get to work. Haste is of the essence, isn't that right? Indeed, this season sees many of us struck down by a certain illness. We have not an effective treatment, and each year it inevitably claims lives. While I'm no healer judging by the symptoms, lack of nutrition's a problem. In which case, I might know something that can prevent it. A fortifying tonic, traditionally brewed in Giabania. Desiree, we would be grateful if you could begin by supplying us with this Giabanian remedy. The people are depending on us. Custom deliveries unlocked, Kurenai. Now, let's get the stuff we need. The merchant we need for the crafting stuff is over there. This blue merchant. Ah! That was not what I wanted. What the heck am I doing? Alright, but what else can we collect? Kurenai, remedy, pitch of active ingredients, and cure fish. Good, I gave her the stuff. Alright, I got the stuff. With your cooperation, I'm confident we can convince the citizens to embrace change. Yeah, the classical description how stuff works here. Collectibles work. Okay, pinch of active ingredients. Apparently, this powder, made by grinding down rocks, finds use in numerous traditional Alamegan remedies. It is an innovation born of the peculiarities of a region. Now then, if I might take a closer look. By the Kami, not even the sun-illuminated splendor of the ocean could compare to its brilliance. Yours is the work of a divine, my friend. Congratulations. I understand the people of Giabania use horns and bone meal to brew medicinal teas. I'm hopeful that the bones of this curefish will provide like benefits. Now then, the work of a divine, yeah. And this is the Giabanian remedy? It certainly smells effective. As they say, the best medicine is often the hardest to swallow. Now then, yeah, it's brilliant. Divine, even. With your help, we now have enough doses of a remedy to distribute amongst the most vulnerable among us. I pray this will allow us to prevent the illness's spread. Glad tidings, Desiree. Thanks to the remedy you have been bringing us, even those who took ill were able to recover swiftly. For the first time in recent memories, there have been no severe cases and certainly no deaths. Having experienced firsthand the medicine's efficacy, both our healers and citizens alike have been clamoring for more. Never have I seen my people so happy, so full of hope. Lady Hisui, my dear mother, she too has been feeling unwell. Might there be any more of that remedy still? Had you come asking earlier, my reply would have been no, but for a blessing, Desiree has just furnished us with more. I shall see that it's delivered to you. So you are Desiree. I have heard about you. Aye, this is the kindly adventurer who's been working with Sanana. We owe our good health to their tireless efforts. I shall be forthright. I still mistrust outsiders. Many of us do. And yet we are grateful. While we do not yet welcome you as the Ruby Princess does, we offer you our thanks all the same. As the Ruby Princess does. I like to see the looks on your face when we learn who you really are. Oh, Sanana, you mustn't entertain such thoughts, not even in jest. All know that the Ruby Princess must live out her days within the palace. So has it always been. Should my presence here come to light, the citizens would be up in arms. We can ill afford to have them so distracted. No, I would have my people focus upon only one thing. Embracing the outside world. While they still have a long way to go, we will guide them. One sure step at a time. Kurenai is pleased with your efforts. She now considers you a supporter of Sui No Sato's emergence. Yet there's still much to be done if the people of Sui No Sato are to shed their apprehension towards the outside world. To that end, Kurenai has a new favor to ask of you. Our people has begun to harbor interest in the outside world. We must nurture that interest by introducing more useful foreign items into their lives. And for the next item, I ask that you bring equipment that might afford us protection against sharks. In the past, such things were unnecessary, as the people of Isari kept the creature's population at bay through regular and large-scale fishing expeditions. However, such expeditions were largely abandoned under Imperial rule. As a result, shark numbers have multiplied to plague-like proportions. In their competition for limited prey, the creatures have grown uncommonly savage. In order to keep our citizens safe, I would commence regular patrols of the surrounding waters. Alas, our guards are ill-equipped for such a dangerous task. Against the shark's tough skin, their weapons are as playthings. Through the blue Kojin, we acquired blades of steel from Rugane. Yet, while these are indeed deadly sharp, their weight renders them unwieldy, not to mention they quickly go to rust. What we need, Desiree, is a weapon that shall neither rust nor be stopped by shark skin. With your knowledge of techniques from above, could you please furnish us with such an item? Alright. But that will be next week. Until then. And where we are with another week. Kurenai. New stuff for you. Smiles are beginning to appear on the people's faces, and it's in no small part due to you, my friend. Delivery? Yeah, take a harpoon. Yes, impressively sturdy yet suitably light. A harpoon such as this should serve us well against sharks and help to keep our waters safe. Now then, if I might take a closer look? By the Kami, not even the sun-illuminated splendor of the ocean could compare to its brilliance. Yours is the work of a divine, my friend. Harpoon head. Of course. Though metal has its uses in our watery domain, bone and stone shall ever be the materials of choice for weapons. Our gods shall be well pleased. Yeah, work of a divine. And a fish with sharp fangs. Such imposing fangs, as sharp as they are long. Fine harpoon blades we shall make in the spirit of Gridanian philosophy. We have much to learn from those dwellers of the forest. And it's divine work. And with this we now have enough harpoons to arm our guard. Regular patrols may finally commence. As anticipated, our guards were very pleased with their new harpoons. What I did not anticipate, however, was that our youth would also take a shine to them. They were quite fascinated by its foreign construction. And this is a source of delight for you, Sui, placing one's trust in land dwellers. I cannot think of a greater folly. It will not do for the sentiment to spread. Lord Chicken and Lord Shiosai besides. To what do I owe the honor? It has come to my attention that our citizens are being led astray. Seduced first by outsiders' medicine and now outsider weapons. I labor to comprehend how the princes could permit this. It is bad enough that the guards have taken up these harpoons. Now our youth desire them too. Mark my word that this can end in naught but bloodshed. Lest we forget, both the Confederacy and the Kojin were dragged into Doma's bloody conflict against the Empire. Should their leader, this Lord Tian, learn that our people are arming themselves in his insatiable thirst for war, he may well come banging on our gates to demand our participation. Surely you see the danger. With respect, my lord, may I remind you that this is not the palace. There are eyes and ears all around us. Foreign eyes and ears. I would remind you also of the agreement, that you and your fellow elders would watch how the citizens respond to Her Grace's plan. As impartial observers, your words can ill be described as impartial. We have naught to gain by cowering inside our little bubble. Nay, by shutting out the rest of the world in the name of tradition, we but consign ourselves to a slow demise. You presume to lecture me, Sui? You who know little and less of worldly matters, whose sole purpose is to attend to Her Grace? For a moment, though, I thought the princess herself was addressing me. You have ever shared her looks, but it seems you have taken on her mannerism as well. Yes, it must have been all the years serving Her Grace. I have come to know her mind as though it were my own. Well, I suppose it's but a fleeting infatuation with a novel and new. Given time, the people will remember the danger that lurks without and come to their senses. Now, there's the man you can love to hate. I take it he's the conservative-in-chief? You might say that. And yet, independent of his influence, many others harbor the self-same fear. The fear that, by throwing open Sui No Sato's gates, we would be swallowed up in a maelstrom of foreign agenda. When a simple bloody harpoon can trigger such a fearful reaction, your people really have no stomach for conflict. Well, no one with any sense would, but this is just unhealthy. Indeed, 'tis an irrational fear, ingrained over generations and perpetuated by willful ignorance. If we are to free ourselves from it, we must have a chance to know the world above. Kurenai is delighted with your efforts. She now considers you a stalwart of Sui No Sato's emergence. And yet there's still much work to be done if the people of Sui No Sato are to shed their apprehension towards the outside world. To that end, Kurenai has a new favor to ask of you. Your Grace, if I may, there's a particular item that I would request of Mistress Desiree. But of course, Shiosai, none among us is more familiar with our people's daily lives than you. What is it that ails them? As your Grace knows, we dwell at the bottom of the sea by virtue of the cogent enchantments. Yet though we have air to breathe and live, our home has ever been a bitterly cold place. Due to our closed environment, we cannot avail ourselves of the benefits of fire, and so we have had to endure, cowering ourselves in such garments as we possess. While this may suffice for the young and healthy, the old and infirm struggle simply to survive. Indeed, the cold has ever been a trial for us, yet I've heard of a place above, far colder still, a land of endless winter where ice falls instead of rain. There, a great nation thrives, and its people must have effective ways of coping in that frozen clime, such as garbs of transcendent warmth. That's gotta be careful, I reckon. I've never been that far out of Ulda, at least not till now, but you've definitely been there, right, Desiree? I have. A more dependable adventurer I have never known. I shall let you all return to your work then. By your leave. Permit me to echo Shiosai's sentiment. Truly, we are blessed to have a dependable ally such as you. I shall look forward to seeing the fruits of your labors. Custom deliveries have been updated. And with that, we will have to wait for next week to finish this. And another week with Kurenai. Time to turn in some stuff. Each day is filled with new discoveries. Though the work can be tiring, I could not imagine a more worthwhile way to expend my energy. The resourceful denizens of Curvers apparently weave dragon scales into their garments for added warmth. Borrowing from this inspired idea, we shot away ourselves with the scales of this fish, which has evolved to survive in extreme cold. Now then, if I might take a closer look, it's great. Vial of thermal fluid. So, by coating garments with this fluid, one can increase their ability to ward off a cold. That's something so wondrous should exist. Our citizens surely will be impressed. Now then, if I might take a closer look. By the Kami, not even the sun-illuminated splendor of the ocean could compare to its brilliance. Yours is the work of a divine, my friend. And glassed clothes. My, such thick, warm garments, not that we have could compare to this. Thus clothed, we need no longer shiver through the night. Thank you, Desiree. With the items you've brought us, none of our old and infirm need fear Sui No Sato's cold nights any longer. I shall see to their distribution at once. I'm pleased to say that your winter wares have been very well received. The old and infirm are singing their praises, and those around them cannot help but be impressed as well. The items from above have improved our people's lives greatly, and Shiosai is making certain that the elders are aware of this fact. It cannot be long now, Desiree. Soon we will... That will be enough, Princess. Jikan? And Hisui too? Your Grace, Lord Jikan, he came without warning and forced me to reveal everything. Your demeanor when last we spoke struck me as odd, and so I put a little test to the Ruby Princess. Imagine my surprise when I learned that she was in fact the lady-in-waiting, posing as our wise and noble ruler. It was my ploy and mine alone. I submit myself to any punishment you deem fit. But this is no place to discuss such matters. Let us first return to Sui No Sato. If you would permit me one request, however, I would have a moment with my two companions. Very well. I shall go on ahead, and though I do not think you will run, Hisui will return with me. Princess, please forgive me. Best not to forgive. It was I who put you up to it. Go on, I shall join you anon. Are you alright, Kurenai? And so it comes to this. The risk was ever present, yet the disappointment? It's almost too much to bear. Kurenai is overjoyed with her efforts. She now considers you a savior of Sui No Sato's emergence. A new quest continuing the story is now available. Upon its completion, the custom deliveries for Kurenai will be updated. Forgive me, this is no time to wallow in despair. I must remain focused on our objective. Knowing Jikan, he will exploit my transgression and turn it against our effort at reform. But we cannot allow it to end this way. My friends, 'tis not my desire to involve you in my personal dilemmas, but I can turn to no other. Pray, accompany me back to Sui No Sato. Should this spell the end of a princess's dream? Even if she has forgiven me, I could never forgive myself. Judging by my visitors, I take it the charade is up. There you are, Your Grace. You certainly took your time. But to look at the two of you side by side... You truly are the spitting image of one another. Small wonder you were able to deceive us all this time. But to the matter at hand. Princess, you of all people need not be reminded of our laws. Your place is at the palace, and there you shall return forthwith. Let this mark an end to any foolish talk of flirting with the surface. Wait, Lord Jikan, I have broken our laws and duly accept my fate. This, however, should not be confused with the endeavor to open Sui No Sato to the world. Thanks to Sasana and Desiree, we have been able to ease some of the hardships our people have long endured. Had we insisted upon our adherence to tradition, their suffering would have continued. I ask you to look to the past, Lord Jikan. There was a time when our ancestors roamed the grasslands as nomads. But refusing to be hobbled by tradition, they began to trade. They befriended the Kojin, from whom they acquired new knowledge. Knowledge that allowed them to build a home under the sea. Our forefathers chose change. Had they not done so, we would not be who we are now. And now, as ruler, I judged it past time for another change. Our people suffer needlessly. If it is within our power to ease that suffering, is it not our duty to do so? A noble sentiment, and a short-sighted one. By focusing on immediate gratification, you would lead us blindly into the abyss. The people could not possibly desire such a thing. Many of our citizens feared the outside world, 'tis true, but owing to Her Grace's efforts, they are beginning to reconsider their long-held views. Lest you doubt their motive, they are driven by far more than the desire for immediate personal gratification. Nay, they have the future of Sui No Sato foremost in their mind, for such is the passion that they felt from their ruler, though they knew not that she walked among them. They are misguided. They know not of the horrors that lie beyond. Horrors this, danger that. As the representative of the dreadful beyond, Desiree, why don't you give them a piece of your mind? You fear what you do not know. Well then, the best cure for that is knowledge, and nothing better than the first-hand thought. That's to say, you need to get out there and see things with your own eyes. What a wonderful proposal! We may speculate endlessly, but there's only one way to know whether or not our fears are founded. Lord Jikan, let us, you and I, venture forth and see the world. Madness! If either you or I were to meet with misfortune, Kami forbid. You needn't worry on that account, my lord. The adventurers were the self-same hero who purged the Palace of Wraiths and saved Lady History. You could not be in safer company, here or anywhere else. Lord Jikan, this is my final request to you. Come with me. See the world with your own eyes. Should it be as you believe and fraught with danger, I shall abandon my dream and forever hold my peace. Very well, Your Grace. I shall hold you to that promise. When it's decided, now for the choice of destination I recommend Kurenai. It's close by and you find people of all nations and creeds there, mingling and doing business. My place is beside the princess. Please allow me to come with you. I've certainly got no objection to that. Before we head out though, it would be best if you three changed to something a little more conventional. Lucky for you, I've got just the thing. Desiree, go on ahead to the Ruby Prize. We'll join you once I've seen to the attire. Sorry for the wait. We're ready now. Never did I dream I would one day don foreign attire. I feel like a different person. This excess of fabric would slow us down in water, but I suppose that is of little concern to land dwellers. You behave as children with new toys. I for one could not cast aside these barbarians, the Rex, and return to our own soon enough. Forgive me, Lord Jikan, I must confess, the prospect of setting foot in a city of the surface excites me, but I realize we're not here for amusement. I shall try to remain focused. What think you, Desiree? Do we not look strange in these garments? I took the liberty of arranging my hair to suit. You look good. I'm glad. I feared we would appear like fish out of the water as we are. Right then. The idea being to improve your lives through trade. I reckon we start by going where the trading happens, the Rakusa district. We defer wholly to you, Sanana. Let us seek out this Rakusa district. But there could be so many people in one place, it fairly makes my head spin. Do I understand correctly? We decorate the shop's facade in order to attract passers-by? Never would we have conceived of such an idea. Ah, the sights and sound of trades, the scent of profit. This is where I belong. Such a vibrant place, overflowing with life. Never before have I seen so many shops all in a row. Ah, it's also fresh and new. I'm afraid to blink lest I miss something. Oh, might that be a traveling merchant procuring merchandise to take back to his homeland? Whence does he hail, I wonder? Oh, and over there. Pray excuse her Grace, long as she dreamed of this moment. Now, this is just one aspect of the outside world, and you mightn't want the same for Sui No Sato, but I dare say this turns your preconception on their heads. Indeed, people of all races and nations appear to be gathered here, and there are countless kinds of wares being offered, many of which I have no name for. It's eye-opening. With its port open to the world, Kurenai has been nourished by the free flow of trade to become the rich and prosperous city we see before us. Of course, where people of disparate cultures come in contact, some friction is to be expected, but with due caution, that energy can be harnessed as a force for prosperity. It is as you say, Your Grace. The people of the surface are not all barbarians who wage only war. By daring to venture out in the world, Sui No Sato could stand to gain much. That being said, I harbor one grave concern, and until said concern is addressed, I cannot offer my support to your endeavor. What is it now? Let's hear it. Long as we have kept to ourselves, I believe us ill-prepared to engage with the outside world. Were we to open our gates now, we would find ourselves flooded with wares from without, wares superior to our own, upon which we would grow dependent. What wealth we have would be drained away, leaving us impoverished. We must have measures in place to prevent this outcome. But that's it. Well then, you got nothing to worry about. See, the beauty of trade is that it works both ways. All you need is a product of your own, something unique to Sui No Sato that can compete with anything else out there. That's a wonderful idea, I shouldn't doubt, yet I cannot help but worry. For generations have we lived in austerity. What could we possibly offer to the people of the surface who know every luxury? You're not getting cold fins on me, are you? Don't forget, you have Desiree and yours truly. You're experts in all things to do with the outside world. We'll help think of something, isn't that right? That we do. Very well. While you strive to conceive a suitable product, Your Grace, I shall turn a blind eye to your unofficial activities. Should your efforts prove fruitless, however, you shall abandon your endeavor. Thank you for granting me this opportunity, Lord Chicken. And thank you also, my friends. I'm truly blessed to know you. Enough of that. Save it for when we succeeded. Now then, our signature project isn't going to think itself up. Let's hurry back to Tamamizu and get to work. Though the matter of opening Sui No Sato to the world remains unsettled, there is something I would say to you. I've served Her Grace since she was an infant. In all these years, never have I seen her face light up with such unbridled joy. For showing that to me, you have my heartfelt thanks. Desiree, my thanks again for accompanying us to Kurenai. As it has been decided, we seek a product that might represent Sui No Sato. Such is my request to you. En route back to Tamamizu, Sanana and I discussed the subject at some length. We believe that the marriage of our two worlds would be ideal. The bounty of a ruby sea worked with the techniques of the surface. Aye, we take a treasure of a deep only Kurenai's people have access to and give it a foreign touch. There's something to gain for everyone. With a concept like that, we're bound to come up with a winning product. We just need to find something to base that product on. If it's to make a mark on the world, it has to be inherently valuable. I'm talking jewelry and the like. These waters yield objects that might suit such a purpose, but I fear they are not of a quality to impress the folk of the surface. In the course of our fishing and foraging, we often come upon pearl-producing clams and deep-sea crystals, but with our energies recently focused wholly upon survival, we do not pay them much mind. Pearls and crystals, you say? Kurenai, those things would be perfect. Truly, I mean, they are certainly pretty, but they pale in comparison to such dazzling items as I beheld in Kurenai. I'd wager it's because you've only ever seen your pearls and crystals in the ocean's dim light. On the surface, beneath the sun, they'd shine 100 times brighter. And once Desi worked her magic on them, they'll become signature products to turn heads the world over. The pride and joy of Sui No Sato. You can depend on me. Well, you've given me newfound hope, my friends. I shall trust to your abilities, Desiree, and await your handiwork with bated breath. Okay, one more week when we are done. Okay, another week, and we can turn in more stuff to finally finish Kurenai. We're so close now, Desiree. With but a little more effort, we shall realize our dream of opening Sui No Sato to the world. Ah yeah, the job. Oh my, this clam is a veritable giant among its kind. The pearls it yields is certain to impress the people of the surface. Truly, this is a thing of beauty. With a signature product of such rarity and quality, it shan't be long ere the name Sui No Sato resounds the world over. Fine. I had never harbored much interest in trinkets, but even I cannot help but be mesmerized by this resplendent jewel. To think such beauty slumbers in our very own waters. Truly, this is a thing of beauty. With a signature product of such rarity and quality, it shan't be long ere the name Sui No Sato resounds the world over. We have ever only seen the Ruby Sea as our home and not a place for the mysterious or exotic. To think that you could bring forth such a splendid object from these depths. You never cease to amaze me, my friend. It's a thing of beauty. Thanks to your tireless efforts, we now have a sufficient stock of product that may represent Sui No Sato. I pray they will meet with Jikan's satisfaction. I took the liberty of showing our people the signature product you have been bringing us. It seemed appropriate, seeing as it is to represent their home. All were in awe of the foreign techniques employed in its creation, and full many of them were inspired to contribute like items of their own. The quality doesn't compare to yours, of course, but none too shabby either. As a matter of fact, it's good enough for the house to deal in. By my reckoning, we've got enough hands to meet anticipated demand, assuming they're willing. Truly? If a House of Splendor should be willing to stock our products, we would be honored to supply them. Glad to hear it. I must confess though, I've been eyeing ways to turn a profit out of this for a while now. Grateful as I am for my life, I couldn't call myself a trader if I ignored the opportunity for an exclusive supply deal. Oh, is that the way of it? You did not give me that impression in the least. You have still lots to learn about business, princess. I'll have to teach you good and proper, else you're liable to be eaten alive out there. You are all here. Good. I have come to offer an apology. Well, if it isn't Jikan, an apology, you say. I take it you've seen all the good that come of Desiree's handiwork? Indeed, I've been observing our citizens. Never have I seen them so invigorated, so alive. Their passions enkindled by the prospect of having a product to call their own. As it stands, I believe that Sui No Sato would not only survive, but thrive, were we to emerge into the world. This brings me to my apology. My fear of the unknown had blinded me to many things, not least of all to our people's potential. I see this now, as do my fellow elders, and I speak for all of us when I say that we would be grateful for your continued support to Her Grace's cause. Gladly. We are as newly hatched fish, yet trying to find our way in a great ocean. I too ask for your continued support, though I myself can no longer be involved in this endeavor. Ever since my charade was exposed, I've been prepared for this moment. Though I'm grateful for being indulged in these extra days of freedom, 'tis past time that I return to my place in the palace. With regards to that, Your Grace, 'tis my firm belief that one among us who harbors the greatest passion for the outside world should continue to collaborate with our visitors. Indeed, Lord Jeekin, I doubt not that you and your fellow elders shall find a suitable replacement. For someone who advocates the need for change, Your Grace bends all too easily to tradition when it concerns yourself. There's no need to find a replacement, for who harbors greater passion for the outside world than you? But the law? Rest assured, your lady-in-waiting has expressed her willingness to continue ruling in your stead. Your presence will still be required at functions of import, but outside of those times, you're free to continue as you are. Are you certain of this? Full certain, Your Grace. Remain with Sanana and Desiree. Learn well from them, for the future of Sui No Sato depends upon it. Kurenai considers you a shining light of the world. Through your efforts, the people of Sui No Sato have come to embrace the outside world. It seems, however, that Kurenai has a different sort of favor to ask of you. To finally Sui No Sato embracing the world without. There's nothing short of a dream come true. I cannot thank you enough. Even Jiken's a staunch supporter of a cause now. Let's keep up the good work, so. What kind of wares should we bring in next? There is something which I had in mind for a time. As it is not urgent in nature, I had set it aside until such time as we addressed our citizens' more pressing needs. In our libraries, there exists a tome that describes a continent floating in the firmament. An enigmatic place called the Sea of Clouds, said to be home to countless treasures. I should be grateful if you could bring me one such treasure. It would serve as a token, I believe, of the vastness of the world. A reminder to our people to turn their gaze ever outward. Come now, princess. You just want to see the treasure for yourself. I claim I shan't refute. And if truth be told this way, there's another favor I would ask of you. You will recall that, for our visit to Kogane, I had the opportunity to dress as the locals do. Simply donning the attire provided me with many an insight into the culture whence it came. I have since learned of wondrous objects called glamour prisms. Through them, I would be grateful if you could alter the appearance of my garments, thereby allowing me to gain an insight into even more cultures. However strange the method may seem, if it grants me a deeper understanding of the outside world, I'm open to it. Should you come upon any likely garments in your travel, I ask that you reserve them for me. Future requests will be selected at random from all those you have seen thus far, with a list refreshing once each week. You may review the items currently in demand at a time by speaking with Kurenai and selecting Make a Delivery. Note that Cloud Pearls, Cloudkin Feathers, and Illuminati Masks will earn you particularly handsome rewards. Whenever they make an appearance, the effort to procure them will be worth your while. And you can glamour Kurenai now. So what do we have? Exactly those. Alright. But that shall be it for Kurenai. Because we are finished with the story. Until next time, when we play something different, I'm Mace and don't get lost.